Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Nioh, Nioh. I played it on the PS4 because, well, that's what it's on. It's exclusive. So the story of Nioh is you play as William, a Irish-born pirate, essentially, who was utilized by the English military during their war against Spain in order to find this mystical power in Japan. You found it, they lock you up, and they plan to kill you so you can't find more of it for anyone else. And, well, oddly enough, your guy's not so keen on that, so he escapes. He discovers that the English have a bigger plot, world domination, which I guess he's not so fond of, mostly because they want to kill you. But he follows them to Japan, and, well, while there, he gets embroiled in a civil war in Japan. You end up helping one of the two sides, I'm not going to say which one, because, well, they weren't quite prepared for what's going on. All this evil and hate in Japan is bringing yokai into existence, which are Japanese demons, essentially. And that's one thing I found really interesting in this game, is the amount of Japanese lore that is in it. When it comes to the audio, I enjoyed it. I think the voiceover work was pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's also a far cry from being some of the worst that I've heard. When it comes to the sound effects and, the music, I think that's all very good. I think it fits with what's going on. I definitely think the weapon sound effects are really good, and I like the overall music. I like the tone it provides. And when we're talking about gameplay mechanics and whatnot, I think a lot of people have seen this and thought the same thing I probably thought, which was this is basically Dark Souls, but with samurai. And while playing the first mission of this game, I was like, okay, so that's exactly what this is, but easier. No. Just no to that, because once I completed, the second actual mission, once I hit the actual second mission, the difficulty just jumped through the roof. I was honestly really surprised. The boss of the first mission, even the first side mission, neither of whom were very hard, definitely did not prepare me for the second mission and that boss, which you really have to memorize the patterns and work with the controls. It's a pretty difficult fight, and it continues on from there, but that was kind of obnoxious because I didn't feel like it was a good scaling of difficulty. You go from, oh, this isn't so bad, to holy fuck, this is really difficult. This game is not Dark Souls or Bloodbourne. It really does differentiate itself from both of those franchises, despite the fact there's a lot of easy comparisons to make. I think the two things that really differentiate this game from Dark Souls would first be that it's a mission-based game, so you don't have this huge open world and not everywhere is interlinked. Well, nothing is really interlinked like it is in Dark Souls. You have a map where you pick your missions to go from. And B would be the fact that there's a lot of armor and inventory management in this game that is not present in Dark Souls or Bloodborne. It's kind of Diablo-esque in that sense, where you're constantly getting loot. It's very loot-heavy, which is very different from Dark Souls, where loot is like a super precious item. So having played it, I don't feel like Dark Souls comparisons are as valid as I did when I first heard about this game, first played the demo. Speaking of the demo, I'm talking about the first demo that came out sometime last year. One thing that they got rid of in that was the breakable weapons, and I'm super glad about that because, oh god, that was such a pain in the ass in the demo, so I'm really glad that they got rid of that in the actual title. Okay, so when it comes to the controls, originally I thought I had a complaint with the controls, and I realized it's just kind of part of the attack system. Once you're on the final attack of a combo, you cannot dodge until that attack is completed. Whereas, if you're in the middle of any attack leading up to that final attack in the combo, you can dodge at any time. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because when you are playing this game, it is a very difficult game, so when you're fighting a boss, you only want to go in for one or two strikes, and I originally thought it was something that the controls were screwing up, but in reality, I was just getting too greedy. I'm mentioning this in the control section because what I really want to lead to is I think these controls are actually excellent. I had that one complaint, or thought I did, until I experimented with the game a bit and realized that it was just me being greedy. Once I stopped doing that, I realized how good the controls actually are, and that if you die, just like in Dark Souls and Bloodbourne, it's your fault. When it comes to the graphics, I actually really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the art style. I think it's a stunning game, and I love the background. I love the scenery. I love the design for the enemies. I love the design for the armors. I think that's really cool. All the different armors, all the different weapons. I think that's really neat. I thought it was kind of weird that the game starts you out in like an English castle, but then once you're in Japan, it like completely changes, obviously, and it's really cool looking. To wrap this up, for me, Nioh is definitely a lot like any of the Dark Souls or Bloodborne games in that I'm probably never going to beat it because it's a very difficult game and it takes a lot of time, but I'm definitely going to continue playing it. The high difficulty can set a barrier for players, but once you get the hang of what you're doing, how to control your character, it's a lot of fun. So if you're looking to fill that like Bloodborne, Dark Souls gap in your life, it's definitely worth investing in. If you're just looking for a challenge because you've found that other games aren't challenging enough for you, it's worth buying. So yes, I recommended this game. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me what your favorite samurai-themed video game is? As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share or subscribe. Have a good one.